Good morning all. It's the 13th, Wednesday the 13th of December. I'm doing a little bit of honing this morning. I thought as an experiment there's been a little bit of banter concerning testing when honing. So here's what I'm up to anyway. This I only received the other day, in fact yesterday. This is an unusual French frame razor with a removable blade. So it's all been cleaned, it's all been polished. I just wanted to say on the first stages, I actually use the usual pen marker as I have on this Russian razor. I use a Sharpie just to check that the blade geometry is about right. I've done, and this is what counts I think, when I'm doing my initial honing, many strokes, just testing on the nail. Now this is where the nail works fine if it's smooth across the nail, even though you've got no edge. If it's very grippy, yes, you know you've got an edge coming. But the final test is always going to be, for me, not against the pencil, not against a piece of horn, not against my nail, but against the little baby tomato. Now this one is just got its edge on now, just about. But obviously this is on a 3000 grit Naniwa Professional, probably one of my favourite stones. But it's still not 100%. It's good, it's very good, but not quite. So rather than kill it and go straight onto the 5K, which I'm going to do in a minute, let's again show you this Russian one. This is a Rakete. This is one of the Moscow-built rocket ships. So let's hope that this one, yeah, this one's there. Yeah, that one's fine. So what I'll do now is I'll very gently remove the remnants of the black marker very carefully. When you're doing this, a little bit of slurry acts as an abrasive, although white spirit is probably better. So that's 99%. Now I'm going to use my white spirit. If the Sharpie ink has been on there too long, then of course it won't rub off quite so easily. So let's try, yeah, white spirit instantly. So that's the Sharpie marker gone. Lovely jubbly. That now is ready to go onto the 5K. So I'm going to remove the 3K, wash it off. I always use slurry, it cuts better. But be very careful with the slurry, because if it contaminates your next stone, then of course you won't have a accurate indicator. So on goes now a little 5K. We'll give that a very quick pencil test. I don't know why I bother really, I mean I only did it the other day. That'll do, 3 lines. Making sure again that your diamond plate hasn't been impregnated or altered in any way. You don't want 3K slurry on it. Yeah, that one's lovely and straight. I thought it would be. So let's I'm going to kill the edge just out of tradition. That's now dead. Yep. Little tomato, totally dead. We'll see how many strokes it takes on a 5K slurry to bring the edge back. I'll do exactly the same with the Russian razor. Then after that I'll have to debate whether to go onto a full synthetic progression, or, as I rather fancy, I'm going to probably put it onto a Lune. The other experiment this morning will be, I have got a frame razor by John Watts of Sheffield, which I shaved with the other day, reasonably okay. That was on a Lune exactly the same process as I'm doing with this French razor. However, the difference will be that I am going to take the previous Sheffield razor, the Sheffield frame, and I'm going to put it onto an Arkansas and see what sort of difference that makes. Let's just see how this is. Oh yeah, that's gripping. I'll guarantee that's good. Yep. Woohoo! Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's the way you test. Grip, really grip. The lightest pressure on your nail. Yeah, that's gripping. Little baby tomato. And it's just about... I'm going to give it a few more strokes actually. Because believe it or not, rubbing it across my nail has slightly killed the edge. Very slightly. Let's just prove that. I'm using a slightly curvy stroke, as you can see, for the simple reason it's got quite a belly, this little blade. As you can see, it's quite a bellied blade. Let's see if that made a difference. Oh, crumbs. Yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, that's it. So that's now ready to go onto the Lune. Let's see if we can do the same with this little Russian razor, which was 99%. Now it just needs a few more strokes on the 5K. In fact, let's kill it. The reason for killing the edge is so you can ensure that your next grade of stone, it's that edge and not the previous one. So by doing this, I'll know I've got a pure 5K edge and not a 3K edge. As it only takes a minute, I don't care. It's an awful day out there, it's grey. I so hate winter. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to add a bit more water. As soon as the edge comes up to being nice and sharp, I won't bother you too much longer. I will go onto a Lune, because that gives quite a good edge. Yeah, that's there. But let's check. Yeah, but this is the reason I use the baby tomato. The nail test is good. It's very good, but it's telling me that the heel needs a little bit more. Yeah, it does. The heel needs just a tiny bit more, just to bring it up to the correct degree of sharpness. If it can't slice your baby tomato, it certainly ain't going to slice your stubble. As a by the by, did you know, chaps, that a gentleman's stubble, human hair, is in fact the same tensile strength and rather the same cutting ability as copper wire. So every time you shave, you're in fact shaving on copper wire, which is why, of course, razors get blunt. Nope, it's not having it. I think this was very slightly, I don't know, not worn exactly. It's a good razor, but it's not as true perhaps as it could be. Anyway, that should do it. A few more strokes. Yeah. 99%. That ain't good enough. I'm a perfectionist. Which is such a pain in the backside. There we are. That should now be ready for the next stage on these two razors, which will be whacking them onto a Lune. But I don't want to bore you to tears. This was just really a comparison, not of the razors so much, but of the initial stages of honing in regard to the nail test. And for me, the the nail test is extremely accurate. Is a pencil. Yeah, the pencil feels exactly the same as the nail. So that's rather confirming. So if you're very, very, very sensitive on your nails, you can use a pencil. Let's see now. No, it's not 100%. Maybe it's the Russian steel. Who knows? I'm using 2 ends because I want to put the initial stage. I want to put this a little bit extra pressure, just to make sure that we get a reasonably accurate. That's pretty good. It was always very good at the toe anyway. A little bit more on the heel. How very strange. Right, one-handed now. This is the advantage of using the coarser grit stones. They're not quite so fiddly. I wouldn't be doing this on a 20k stone. They're too expensive to take a chance with. But that's good. That should be okay. One more test. Oh yeah, that's it. That's got it. So there you have it. Persistent pays off. You have to be persistent with these things. So that's it. That's your 3k, your 5k. So any progression after that will be a obviously refining progression. And I'm thinking for me today, I'll go and grab me Lune, which is actually a very, very nice stone. And it comes in a nice posh wooden box, courtesy of Gary. There we are. And there's notes inside the box to tell the sort of nonsense I've been up to. Now, a lot of gentlemen have advised that I should use oil rather than water. The only thing is, I'm not absolutely au fait with whether or not the oil might clog the stone. And I do not want to clog this nice little stone. Yep, that's a nice slurry. Very easily brought up. We'll do a quick slurry on both these razors, I think. So both these are going to be on a natural edge. Let's start with the rusky. Nice smooth little stone this. I'm getting a little more expert on the Lune. I really do need to work out a bit more on the coticles. I've got a little coticle. In fact, what I could do after I've done this is perhaps put the French frame razor onto a coticle. Although no, I won't, for the simple reason I'm comparing one frame edge to another, and my previous John Watts of Sheffield little frame, that one is already on the Lune. It was okay, it was just very slightly draggy. Not very much though. Now that, yeah, that's just beginning to, oh, that's pulling quite hard. Let's try on the tomato. Oh, blimey. Yeah, no. Just a little, if the tomato skin dries out through having it for a few days out in the open, it toughens up. A fresh baby tomato is probably a little more accurate. Anyway. There we are, that should do it. I don't like 5/8 blades. This is a small blade for me. I haven't quite got the same feel, both for shaving and for honing. I actually do prefer the larger blades. But this is a handy little stone. And the joy is you don't have to go through dozens and dozens of synthetic stone progressions. You don't see very much in the way of darkening on the slurry. It's very slightly darker, but not a lot. Let's wash it off. Question is, do you go to a weakened slurry? Yep, that's there. I think on this one I'm going to remove the slurry, go straight onto water and see. I think maybe I've jumped the gun. Maybe I should have used a weak slurry. But let's see what happens. Yes, it's fairly grabby. It's not as grabby as a coticle. Bearing in mind we've still got it taped back to it. Let's have a little go on. Yeah, it's pretty good. Skimming on a few places. No, I'm going to give it a light slurry. Very light slurry. As you can see, that's not even a medium, is it? Right. You're not going to see very much in the way of colour change. I wouldn't have thought. No. But under a powerful loupe or a small microscope, it will be evident that there is quite a nice hazy line where the edge is. Also, I'm finding my contact with this wretched black tape is limiting my feel. I don't like tape, but it had a very nice spine, so what can you do? Oh, blimey. That's pretty good. Let's do a few more strokes on this weakened slurry. Add a bit of water. And then we'll go straight to pure water. Because I reckon if I'm not happy with this edge, I can always use a pasted strop. The old white TI paste, or the green chromium dioxide. Either one very good. Right, water only and we'll be done. I won't bore you to tears with the other one. It will be exactly the same process. Yeah, it's grippy, but with tape on a hollow ground razor, you're asking quite a lot to get the full feel. Yeah, feels okay. Right, where's my fresh victim? Fresh victim, unscarred. Let's see, but a bit wrinkly, a bit like me. Oh, blimey, that is sharp. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, that's it. This is a laser. This isn't a razor. Yes, I think we'll call that a very happy attempt. Very successful. So, I shall strip off the tape. My theory is I'd rather not use the tape on the spine when it comes to stropping. I just rather not. But what I'd like to show off, can you see? It's got a little rocket on the blade. Zoom! It's got a little rocket on the scales. Isn't that sweet? So this is a mid-60s. Very, very nice. Very minty little razor. I'm not terribly fond of 5/8, but as Gary said, you get used to what you get used to. And I'm certain I could be a gunslinger on a 5/8 if I chose to. I'm now going to just waste a few more moments by taking this rather antique French. This is by A.D. Arbenz's Mandarin, and it's jaune in France, wherever that is, and it's got a lovely little stamp on the blade. The blade is an interchangeable blade. Let me just show you if I may. You see it's got a little screw in the nose. You undo the screw, and I was very lucky. Out popped the blade. When I say lucky, the simple reason being, I thought that the blade would be frozen in there with rust. I'm going to put up a decent slurry this time on this little stone, on this little Lune. There we are. That's a reasonably good slurry, I think. Quite muddy. Let's put our little French frame on that. I'm going to have to rock and roll a little bit because that's quite a significant, strange smile. Rather charming, actually. Yeah, that's working. It's got a slightly brittle noise, as you can probably hear if my phone is working, because it's a very thin blade. Very, 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 very thin. Yeah, it's a nice feel though. I don't think this fella is going to take too much work. It's such a thin blade. And again, if it doesn't work in comparison to the Lune edge on my John Watts frame razor, then I shall whip it onto my little friend, well, a rather large friend actually, the Black Arkansas, which I think would refine the edge. The Lune, I would say it was slightly, well it is, it's more coarse than a Black Ark. Black Arks are incredibly fine. Let's see how that comes out. Where's my little victim? Ah, here he is. Yeah, that's good. Right, let's go to I'm going to wash this slurry off. And go for a very light slurry, as I did just now on the Russian rocket. Do forgive the odd camera angles. I'm sick to death of trying to wreck my phone by using sticky vacuum mirror thingies that you stick on the window, and of course they don't last 5 minutes. The vacuum gives out and your phone holder then drops your nice expensive phone into the sink or onto a nice sharp edge. So we won't be doing that anymore. Yep, I reckon that'll be enough. Let's now just a few experimental strokes. As you can see, that's quite an interesting smile. What a strange little blade. Pretty though, isn't it? Anyway, that should be enough. I'll wash it off. There's no slurry left. And let's just go plain water. Yeah, very nice feel. I have confidence that this should shave reasonably well. I'll check it in a minute underneath the mic, but I'm perfectly confident it'll have a nice hazy edge, which of course is indicative of a natural edge rather than a mirror, beautiful mirror finish that you get on a synthetic. My 20K with anywhere from 10 to 20 strokes just highlights a mirror to a super mirror. As I say, the only thing I like about synthetics is their total reliability, which is rather why I like this Lune. It seems to be at the moment a little bit more reliable than using cortical. I'm a novice when it comes to corticals really, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's just go one more test on the little tomato. Oh my god. Oh, jeepers Batman. I tell you what, these Lunes really do give an edge. I'm now going to eat the tomato. Lovely. Sweet. Right, chaps, that's it. I should tear the tape off this fella. We now have 2 razors ready to go to the strops. I'll shave with them later today, so if you're not bored to tears with this, I will be doing a shave video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this is of some vague interest, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye.